So, good evening mga ka-business. So, ito nga po pala si John Bill Seeger Chutarena ng BSBA 4th year para mag-present ng presentation about strategic management process. So, ipagpaumanin niyo po at hindi ako masyado napaghanda kasi madalian po ito. Pasensya na. So, ginawa po itong presentation, kung mapapansin nyo, parang may kuliglig kasi gabi. Masyado kasing maingay pag umaga. So, straightforward po tayo. So, what is strategic management process? So, sabi nga po, ang strategic management process is the strategic use of a business resources to reach company goals and objectives. Strategic management requires reflection on the processes and procedures within the organization, as well as external factors that may impact how the company functions. So, the process of strategic management should guide top-level actions and decisions. Companies of all sizes and in all industries can benefit from the practice of strategic management. So, katulad nga po ng binanggit, so sa isang organization, mahalaga po na meron po tayong goals and objectives. Siyempre, para malaman natin kung nag-work ba yung organizations or maganda ba yung implementation sa kanya, kung sino-sino ba makikinabang. Kasi sa isang kumpanya, kailangan po talaga straightforward tayo sa mga goals and objectives natin. So, halimbawa, sa isang organizations, kailangan po may objectives tayo. Kung halimbawa ay mga mid-year or year-end na year, so kailangan meron ng income na pumapasok sa kumpanya natin. Ngayon, kung medyo mahina yung income na pumapasok at hindi nagegets yung objectives ng kumpanya, so kailangan po nating i-rescale o magpalit ng plano para po may adjust kung ano yung dapat i-adjust. So, bali nga po, sa organizations, kailangan po natin, katulad na nabanggit kanina, yung objectives. So, pag sinabi natin objectives, meron tayong mission and vision. So, sa isang organization or isang company, hindi po nawawala ang ating mission and vision. So, ang ginawa ko pong example natin is yung Jollibee. Kasi dahil nga po ito yung pinaka-successful na brand na gawang Pinoy na kung saan is naabot na siya nationwide. So, hindi lang sila, naabot na sila worldwide, hindi lang sila nationwide. So, katulad nga po ng binigay kong example, ang mission and vision. So, ang mission ng Jollibee is to serve great tasting food, bringing the joy of eating to everyone. So, dun pa lang sa mission nila, na nakikita na kagad natin na naiisa katuparan nila kung ano yung mission nila na ini-implement nila. Kasi diba, lingid naman sa kaalaman natin, siguro naman lahat tayo kumain na sa company o sa Jollibee. So, malalas yung pagkain nila at saka masasarap. Tapos, syempre, yung mga advertisement nila, pag nagbibigay sila ng advertisement sa TV, so, habang kumakain yung isang family is masaya siya. So, kaya yun yung in-implement nilang mission na parang nakukuha nila. So, how does strategic management works? Meron tayong dalawang klase ng strategy, which is prescriptive and descriptive. So, strategic management can be either prescriptive or descriptive. So, prescriptive strategic management means developing strategies in advance of an organizational issue, while descriptive strategic management means putting strategies into practice when needed. Both methods of strategic management employ management theory and practices. So, example sa atin guys, kasi di ba ngayon pandemic. So, halimbawa nag-ano tayo ng product, nag-invest tayo bago mag-pandemic ng food product, isang maliit na food product. So, hindi naman natin alam na magkakaroon syempre ng pandemic. So, sumugal tayo. Ngayon, sabi nga ni Sir Aguilar dun sa aming nakaraang subject, dumating na nga yung klase ng event na hindi natin kontrolado. Ang tawag nga is fortuitous event daw. So, ang fortuitous event is yung COVID. So, syempre dahil doon naapektuhan hindi lang yung maliit na itinayo mong business, kundi pati yung malalaking business. So, ano mangyayari? Syempre, kung hindi tayo gagawa ng aksyon, syempre, malulugi tayo. So, ang prescriptive doon is syempre, naisip mo na magtayo ng business at na-forecast mo na, syempre, pag naman nagtayo ka ng business, na-forecast mo kung hanggang kailan siya tatagal at saka kung hanggang kailan ka kikita. Dahil nga nagkaroon ng pandemic, so napigilan yung hangarin mo na ganun. So, ang mangyayari ngayon, sa descriptive naman, sa descriptive strategy, iisip ka ng paraan kung paano mo may benta yung mga pagkain na ibinibigay mo sa customers. So, may mga paraan ngayon na syempre, dahil nga pandemic, hindi lumalabas yung tao, kung ikaw ay techie, may advantage ka. Kasi pag techie, once na pinost mo siya sa social media o yung SOCMED, so maaari kang magka-income. So, paano ka bibenta? So, kailangan mo makahikayat ng partners. paano yung partner? Syempre, kung hindi ka available mag-deliver ng mismong item or product, syempre, kakausap ka ng business partners mo. Syempre, dito sa atin, sa Timonan, sa bayan, usong-uso yung mga pasabay riders. So, kung halimbawa may umorder sa'yo, ang gagamitin mo descriptive strategy is yung mga product or items mo, ibibigay mo na lang sa kanila. Kaya lang magkakaroon ng shipping cost na which is tingin ko naman kung magwo-work is kayang-kaya naman bayaran ng customers. Ngayon kung hindi mag-work, yun lang, ganun talaga sa business, kailangan minsan susugal ka. So dito tayo sa comparison, prescriptive versus descriptive strategy para malaman natin talaga kung ano ba yung madalas na pagkakaiba nila. So prescriptive strategy is the approach places emphasis on plan and logical through processes. It proposes the best way to develop and implement business strategies, while descriptive strategy focuses on the need for the organization to examine the real-life realization of its strategy. According to this approach, it is important to understand how the strategy is put into practice by real companies in the real world of business. So, there are 4 steps of strategic management. Una is analysis, pangalawa is formation, pangatlo execution, at pangapat is evaluation. So, isa-isahin po natin yan ka-business. So, analysis. Before planning a new strategic process, you must evaluate the current process to achieve your goal. What is working, what is not working, what input from organizations, stakeholders can you gather? So, this is the time to answer the questions that will help to solidify the necessary elements of the strategic plan. A SWOT analysis or identification of strengths, weakness, opportunities, strengths is a useful tool. So, sabi nga, ang SWOT daw is strength, weakness, opportunities, and threats. So, parang ang gagawin mo lang siya is i-breakdown mo yung strength, yung weakness, opportunities, and threats ng company. So, SWOT analysis, sabi nga, is a way of evaluating a decisions. You just break it down through strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. SWOT analysis can be used in all types of markets and all types of business, and it gives you a quick snapshot on what to tackle in the next strategic sessions. So, sabi nga, ang strength daw ay isang internal positive while weakness are internal negative. So, opportunities are external positive while threats are external negative. Yeah. So, both strength and weaknesses are internal factors, meaning present na ito ngayon, and both can be controlled. So, samples of strengths are knowledge about the business, personal mastery, or having a coach. Or minsan naman, you're just too excited to do the business and committed. Siyempre minsan, pagka gagawa tayo ng business o makikreate tayo ng business, excited tayo. Napo-forecast natin kung anong mangyayari sa mga susunod o nai-imagine natin siya. Tsaka hindi pa natin ramdam yung pagod, yung araw-araw na bangon. Kasi bago pa lang tayo nagsisimula ng negosyo. Now, samples of weaknesses are maaaring mahiyain ka, so nahihirapan kang makipag-communicate or makipag-usap sa tao. Minsan, hindi ka masyadong techy. So, yung iba pa nga, walang clear view to the market. Tapos minsan, or kadalasan, ang nagiging weaknesses natin is yung capital. Pero ang maganda sa weakness is, pwede mo siyang ma-improve. Sabi nga, there's always room for improvement. So, sa opportunities and threats naman, is both external factors. So, meaning, hindi mo siya makokontrol. So, now, ang sample of opportunities are, since may pandemic ngayon, at ikaw ay online seller, so everybody's looking to the internet. So, kadalasan ng mga tao, sa internet na lang bumibili ng mga produkto. Kasi nga, 'di ba, syempre hindi sila pwedeng lumabas kasi may sinusunod tayong protocol. So, ayun yung opportunities na po pwede mong i-grab. So, kung halimbawa at ikaw ay medyo techy, so you are able to provide solutions sa mga potential buyers through online. So, sample of threats naman are since ulit pandemic ngayon, so many can also see the opportunity. Ang daming nagiging online seller kasi. So, pagdami ng pagiging online seller at online seller ka, mas maraming kakompetensya sa social media. So, marami kang competitor, so nandyan din yung mga big players ng online industry, katulad halimbawa ng Lazada or Shopee, so mga ganon. And lastly, marami ding tao na ayaw maglabas ng pera and they just simply cutting their expenses. So now guys, to give you a quick illustration, dahil uso ang online seller ngayon at maaaring online seller ka, yan si Dalit online seller yan eh. So maaaring ang strength mo bilang online seller is techie ka. Kasi syempre pag techie ka, marami kang alam na SOCMED or social media platform na maaari mong i-post yung product mo. So, you have a great system. So, you have a reliable platform and personal mastery of your craft. So, now since online selling ang uso ngayon, so speed is the name of the game. Kasi kailangan mabilis yung internet mo. Kasi pag yung internet mo mabagal, so maaaring mahirapan ka na mag-entertain ng mga customers. So, kailangan kasi, lalo ngayon at online, mabilis kang mag-respond sa mga katanungan ng customers para mabilis mong maibigay kung ano yung hinahanap nila. So, it's also wise that you provide the product info or product knowledge. Pre-webinars para malaman nila yung quality ng product na binibenta mo. Mas maganda rin kung magbigay ka ng samples or pre-samples sa mga competitors mo para in the long run, so maaari mo pa silang makuha bilang business partner. So, para share din kayo ng nalalaman pagdating sa business. So, i-share mo sa kanila kung paano mag-earn also by selling the products or services that you are selling. So, guys, another steps for strategic management is yung formation. So, once you have the information you need, it's time to create an action plan for reaching the goal. Make sure that the steps are clear, focused, and directly related to the goal. So, prepare easy to understand implementation guidelines if the process or procedure will impact many people within the organization. So, sa formation naman, syempre, kanina nga, na-distinguish na natin or na-identify na natin what possibly is strength and weaknesses of our organization. So, sa formation, gagawa na tayo ng strategy plan to implement it. So, para may adjust natin kung saan mahina yung company or organization natin. So, para malaman din natin kung ano yung threats at malaman din natin yung opportunities para makapagbigay tayo lalo ng magandang performance sa organization or sa company na kinabibilangan natin. So, another steps naman is, syempre, is execute. So, we follow the steps outlined in your strategic plan. Make sure that all stakeholders are implementing the plan as designed for the maximum efficiency. So, sabi nga dun sa execute. So, kailangan natin ma-execute yung plano. So, nakagawa na tayo ng plano. Kailangan lahat ng tao sa organization natin is ma-execute siya. So, mamaya magbibigay ako ng sample para lubos nating maintindihan. So, yung last step is evaluation. So, evaluate the final product. So, did you achieve your goal? Was the process implemented appropriately company-wide? So, based on your answer to the questions, you can reflect and revise as needed. So guys, para mas malinaw, magbibigay ako ng sample sa inyo sa ating 4 steps of strategic management. Siyempre, dati, nagtatrabaho din ako sa organization, kaya alam ko yung ibang kalakaran. So, sa pagdating sa analysis, siyempre, nagsuswot analysis kami, inaalam namin yung strength, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats ng aming kumpanya. And siyempre, ina-analyze namin yung mga susunod na mangyayari. Sample, nagkakaroon kami ng mid-year planning para ma-forecast namin kung kada buwan ilan ba yung papasok at may hit namin sa target at ilan ba yung pwede namin i-deliver as a target. While nagkakaroon din kami ng year-end planning. So, sa year-end planning naman, ipino-forecast namin yung isang buong taon kung paano ba ngayon, 2020, 2021 na syempre sa susunod. So, kailangan mula January hanggang December, pino-forecast namin your by month. So, itinatarget namin yun siya at kailangan yung ibinigay naming strategic target is may implement. So, kasunod doon is yung formation. Syempre, after mo na ma-identify lahat at na-identify mo na rin yung kada buwan na target mo, so ipoform mo siya as monthly kung ilan ba yung kakaya mong ibigay dun sa target na hinihingi sa'yo ng organization. So, pangatlo, yung execution. Syempre, kada buwan, kailangan mamonitor ka o mamonitor ka ng bisor mo o kaya ng managers mo para malaman nila kung kada buwan ba is nasusunod yung target na ibinigay mo sa organization. So, sa madaling sabi, sinisingil nila yan buwan-buwan. So, pag nakita nila na hindi pa kumpleto o parang napag-iiwanan ka, so bilang mga supervisors, papaalalahanan ka nila at tuturuan ka nila. Siyempre, tatanungin nila kung ano ba yung mga problema o yung threats, bakit hindi mo ma-hit yung target mo. Ngayon naman, pagka nakikita naman na na-hit mo yung target mo, is okay lang yun. So, ang kasunod nun, syempre, yung evaluations, katulad nung nabanggit kanina, is product evaluations. Pero sa amin dati, ang ini-evaluate sa amin, syempre kami, kasi kami yung nagpe-perform. So, yung evaluation, syempre, evaluate ka base dun sa performance na ibinigay mo, kung na-hit mo ba ng tama yung target mo. Ngayon, kung na-hit mo ng tama yung target mo, walang problema. Pero kung hindi mo na-hit, syempre, magkakaroon ng root cause analysis yun. Bakit hindi mo na-hit yung target mo? Samantarang nagkaroon na tayo ng strategic planning at nagkaroon na rin tayo ng SWOT analysis. Kaya walang dahilan para hindi mo ma-hit yung target mo. So, what is the purpose of strategic management? Strategic management is the ongoing planning or monitoring, analysis, and assessments of all necessities an organization's needs to meet its goal and objectives. Changes in business environments will require organizations to constantly assess their strategies for success. So guys, ang purpose nga daw ng strategic management is the continuous planning and monitoring. Siyempre, sa mga organizations nga, katulad nung napagtrabuhan ko, siyempre dahil ito ay na-experience ko. So, yung strategic management, once na yan yung pinlano mo, kailangan ito talaga yung i-implement mo. And, minomonitor talaga to ng nakakataas sa'yo para ma-meet mo talaga yung goals and objectives ng inyong organizations. So, competitive advantage. So, strategic management gives business an advantage over competitors because its proactive nature means your company will always be aware of the changing market. So, di ba ngayon, dapat aware ka sa market mo. Halimbawa, ang business mo is buy and sell ng mga products or ng mga items. Kailangan aware ka na nagbabago yung sistema. Lalo ngayon, syempre, teki na yung mga tao. So, sa magiging advantage mo siya if aware ka dun sa market. Maaari kang from buy and sell, maging online seller na binibenta mo yung mga products or service na ino-offer mo sa mga tao. So, achieving goals. Strategic management helps keep goals achievable by using a clear and dynamic process for formulating step and implementations. So, di ba sa isang organizations, once na ikaw ay employee at na-hit mo yung goal na gustong mangyari ng management, maaaring bigyan ka nila ng bonus or bigyan ka nila ng mga incentives para makatulong sa'yo na at least by the means of using that, by the means of doing that, syempre, na nalalaman mo na na-appreciate ng organization yung ginagawa mo at yung performance mo. So, sustainable growth. Strategic management helps keep goals achievable by using a clear dynamic process for formulating steps and implementation. Syempre, from the word of itself, so yung sustainable growth daw, syempre, kailangan kasi sa businesses nag-grow siya. So, maaaring minsan, nangyayari is up and down, pero kailangan nag-grow siya. So, increase managerial awareness. Strategic management means looking forward to the company's future. If managers do this consistently, they will be more aware of industry trends and challenges. By implementing strategic planning and thinking, they will be better prepared to face future challenges. So, di na po tayo sa business environmental analysis. So, it's scrutinizing of the external forces which have the bearing on the functioning of the business. So, however, the external environmental conditions that affect a business are generally beyond the control of management and change constantly. So, to compete successfully, business owners and managers must continuously study the environmental and adapt their business accordingly. So, katulad nga po ng sinabi natin kanina, so, external environment is beyond the control of management. So, hindi siya makokontrol. So, isang magandang example po dito, syempre, ang changes in the taxes by the government. So, can make the customers buy less. Kasi nga, syempre, tumaas yung tax. Halimbawa, yung train law. So, isa sa tumaas sa tax sa train law is yung soft drinks. So, ang biglang pagtaas ng taxes sa isang produkto ay maaaring ikabawas ng pagbili ng mga customers. So, business would have to reestablish its prices to survive the change. So, the plan is to stay flexible enough to adapt sudden changes on the business environment. So, why environmental analysis? Analysis of the environment makes the business aware of the threats and opportunities in the environment. Siyempre, pag alam na natin yung environmental analysis, magiging aware tayo kasi nga, di ba, ang threats and opportunities are both external factors. It's beyond the control of the organization. Pero kung aware tayo na may pangyayaring ganun at alam natin na posibleng mangyayari, syempre, alam na natin kung saan tayo mag-a-adjust para syempre hindi maapektuhan man yung business natin, hindi ganun kalaki. So, meron din tayo mga stages of environmental analysis. Una dyan is yung scanning, monitoring, forecasting, and assessing. So, environmental scanning. So, the study and interpretation of the political, economic, social, and technological events and trends which influence a business, an industry, or even a total market. So, sabi nga po, halimbawa natin is syempre, nag-start tayo ng business natin. Sa unang part ng pag-start natin ng business is marami tayong friends na syempre susuportahan tayo at bibili sila ng produkto or serbisyo na ino-offer natin. Kaya lang darating yung time na tutumal yung benta o tutumal yung pasok ng pera sa ating business. Kasi nga, sabi nga po sa environmental scanning, so pabago-bago nga po ang events and trends. Maaaring may nagtayo din na katulad ng binebenta mo, isang threats yun. And sa trends naman, maaaring yung ibinebenta mo is hindi na uso. Kasi kadalasan po ngayon ng mga nabibiling produkto is yung sa trends na lang din, pag nauuso siya. Katulad na limbawa ng milk tea ngayon, syempre, usong-uso siya, kaya mabenta siya. Kaya maraming nag-create ng milk tea. Kaya lang, syempre, iba-iba yung ino-offer nila. So, environmental monitoring. Focus and systematic in-depth analysis of relevant environmental trends, gather data to determine emerging patterns. So, outputs of monitorings is environmental patterns to be forecast, trends for further monitoring patterns, and requiring further scanning. Environmental forecasting involves the development of plausible projections about the directions, scope, speed, and intensity of environmental change, estimating the intensity, nature, and timing of the external forces that may affect the performance of a firm, describe plans or force change in its strategies. Environmental assessing is assess or evaluate the impact on organization's business. It involves drawing or possible impacts of the environmental changes to the organization. So, steps in environmental forecasting, identification of relevant environmental variables, collection of information, selection of forecasting technique, and monitoring. So, dito na po tayo sa uses of environmental analysis. So, the environmental analysis makes one aware of the environment organization linkage. It helps an organization to identify present and future threats and opportunities. It helps to understand the transformation of the industry environment. It contributes in identification risk. It helps in formulation of strategies. It keeps manager informed, alert, and dynamic. So, dito na po natatapos yung ating presentation. Katulad nga po ng sinabi natin kanina, ang business po, lagi siyang nasa risk. Pero if you do it right, it will focus your strategy development effort and lead to the better decision making. So, muli po, ito po si John Bill Sigard Chutarena ng BSBA 4th year and goodbye.